Hello, it's Isabel, and I'll be telling you about how music affects mental health.
Music helps your mental health in a positive way by lifting your mood, so happy sounds make you feel happy, while sounds that you perceive as sad will make you have a lower mood. Also, it will help you rest better. For example, classical music before bed leads to decreased signs in depression. It can also reduce stress, so calming music will lower your heart rate. And also, there was a study done where people who listen to classical music, also known as calming music, during a surgery needed less pain meds and had a lower blood pressure, therefore a reducing sign in stress. Playing music for an infant, even in the womb, can cause the infant to be less distressed, along with helping the mother have less stress levels, along with increasing the emotional connection between the mother and the child. Upbeat music or songs with positive lyrics can provide an energy boost or get your brain primed for learning or help you with your level of focus. Along with instrumental music and soothing genres can help you stay calm and focused. Ways to accomplish the feeling of being less distracted or your emotions are less bottled up is to listen, play, and write music, along with going to concerts since music is a form of expression. It'll fulfill social needs for older adults in group settings with having something to connect to or talk about. Even if everyone in the group doesn't prefer that music, it'll give for a good conversation. Along with preferred music choices, it can help relax muscle tension and it will release endorphins and dopamine, along with strengthen motor skills and improve communication for people who have developmental or learning disabilities. Music has a negative effect to men who are exposed to music with misogynistic lyrics displaying higher levels of aggressive behavior, especially when the aggression was directed at females, along with women listening to men-hating lyrics, which makes women recall more negative attributes about men, creating a negative or aggressive behavior, and vice versa. Loud music played non-stop to prisoners is a form of music torture with extreme discomfort made to force confessions faster to leave the uncomfortable environment, along with the psychological constitution of each listener and the particular emotional state the person is in when listening to the music will affect how they react to the music. For example, if a person is listening to music that reminds them of negative memories, their mood will be more drastically affected with having a negative mood. Along with the listener whose passions are strong and not under control will be influenced in a very different way from a listener who is emotionally cold and unresponsive. People's emotions are a dangerous factor when listening to music because depending on the song, the person could get very hostile or depressed. Excessive amounts of music at concerts causes nervous fatigue and psychological indigestion, along with depressing music would most likely act as a psychological poison on the listener who is letting the music have a depressing influence take a toll on their emotional state, along with musical compositions with frequent dissonance, lack of form, and irregular rhythms can cause stress or strain from the brain's lack of understanding the composition of the piece. Music that can cause this is jazz, being a lot of it is improv based. The first thing you hear is the rhythm of the song that uses the motor cortex and cerebellum. The second thing that a brain will process is the pitch and tone of a song that uses the auditory cortex, along with analyze the song's melody and harmony, which will use the cerebellum and prefrontal cortex. Next, the brain will anticipate what comes next in a song and with a correct prediction release dopamine, which uses the prefrontal cortex. The memorization of a song will be stored in the hippocampus. When seeing a live performance of a song via reading music, playing an instrument, and dancing, the brain uses the cerebellum, motor cortex, sensory cortex, and visual cortex. Also, we are more likely to experience an emotional reaction the more we listen to a song because we will understand the personal meaning of the song the more we listen to it, therefore the more details we will pick up. The use of emotion when listening to a song is determined by the nucleus accumbens, amygdala, and cerebellum. Music is like the language with structure, progression, and syntax. Our brain processes musical syntax using the awareness area, like how we process language syntax via the structure and the progression our brains pick up from patterns and sounds. Emotional significance we find in music comes from personal experience. For example, in the cradle, we learn to associate the music we hear with the emotional environment we hear it in. This might imprint us with calm memories or positive connections to the sound of major keys being played. Once we've understood what the emotional content of the music is, it activates brain cells, or the mirror neurons, and the cells mentally stimulate behaviors that we perceive in the world around us, which helps us with social understanding and empathy. Neurons moving at a specific rate associate different moods, hence music triggering the emotion part of the brain. Also, certain chords sound pleasant because of how we divide tones into different pitches, like harmonically simple or consonant chords being majors are easy to distinguish. However, harmonically complex chords or tritones are harder to distinguish since we find them dissonant. Music calms your nervous system via your hormones, which influences your biological processes. This goes back to the mirror neurons being activated, and when the tempo of the music you're listening to, it will release neurons moving at a specific rate, then creating a specific emotion. Loud and fast noises excite us more than slow and quiet ones because our brainstem is tuned to attend these types of noises, along with going back to the sound we heard in our mother's womb, those being loud and fast to the infant, therefore seeming calming to us as we grow up. Overall, it depends on the person's music preferences because one genre that might help express one emotion might have a person, for example, feel disgust from the dislike of the song. Also, music is a form of entertainment that happens to have the contributing factors of dealing with emotions, being that when you see a live performance, emotions will be heightened from the increase in release of dopamine. How the producer of the music made, expressed, and performed the song, hoping the audience will feel the chosen emotion. Now for anger, extreme music like heavy metal, emo, hardcore, punk, and screamo cause irritability and stress, but decrease after music and silence. Silence has no effect on positive emotions and doesn't enhance feelings of calmness or inspirations, being there is no brain activity. For sadness, you can listen to classical, ambient, and instrumental music, which is known to be an effective antidepressant in people suffering from depression. These genres are classified as sad music, which helps with the grieving process and release of deep feelings that carry a lot of emotional weight. To help with anxiety, you can listen to serene, peaceful, joyful, and sad music needed to be relaxing via the music's harmonies and melodies. Finally, regarding other emotions, classical music induces feelings of calmness, peace, or clarity, and may lead to individuals to feel focused or relaxed. Heavy metal increases levels of irritability or nervousness and can provoke higher levels of energy and anxiety. Rock increases levels of productivity and uplifts moods, creating a euphoric sensation. Pop eases the feeling of stress and confusion to promote positive feelings and relaxation. Country leads to feelings of sadness or increased negative thoughts because lyrics often involve sad stories or messages. Music therapy uses approaches or natural mood-lifting properties of music to help people's well-being, so this type of therapy is goal-oriented by making or writing music, singing, dancing, and listening or discussing music. Helpful for people with depression and anxiety or anything with physical health problems, since this type of therapy gets the mirror neurons activated to release an emotion for you to feel, which can help with these problems. Music therapists mostly work in hospitals, substance abuse treatment centers, or private practices. There is analytical music therapy, which encourages you to use an improvised musical dialogue through singing or playing an instrument to express your unconscious thoughts through the emotions, desires, or memories that appear when you are doing an emotionally activating activity. Benazone music therapy is a process of making music, so to search for your musical sound identity and external sounds that most closely match your internal state by attaching instruments to the words to create an emotion. There is cognitive behavioral music therapy, which is used to reinforce behaviors, like listening to music, dancing, singing, or playing an instrument, which again will help with the release of the mirror neurons. There is community music therapy, which uses music to facilitate change on a community level or a group setting to connect with music at a social level. There's the Nordhoff-Robbins music therapy, which is the creation of music by playing an instrument with the therapist to help you enable self-expression. The Bonney method uses classical music to stimulate the imagination, leading to explaining feelings, sensations, memories, and imagery you experience while listening to the music. And there is vocal psychotherapy, which uses vocal exercises, natural sounds, and breathing techniques to connect with your emotions and impulses for a deeper sense of self-connection and understanding of your emotions. So what you feel through your body with a specific emotion and what comes up mentally in that state of mind. Playing a musical instrument has health benefits like reducing stress, improve cognitive performance, and increase memory function with the extra focus to making a specific sound, therefore also using the mirror neurons in your brain to express emotion. Learning to play an instrument helps depression and elevates your mood, along with boost your body production of dopamine because your brain provides more stimulus promoting healing. Improvisation music playing is playing an instrument to help with the expression and exploration of different emotional themes, so using instruments to relate feelings the song may have, along with songwriting, which is creating lyrics to make people express experiences and thoughts. So combining that with the sound of the instrument reflects and the emotion behind the words and the process can help build self-worth for a sense of pride. I hope you enjoyed watching this video of how music affects mental health. Peace out.